Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso just kicked off their feud with some explosive remarks, so we'll see what's new there. We'll also check out some new things with Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and more. Starting things off with the interaction between Jimmy and Jey. After an endless amount of months filled with teasers for this match, the feud is officially here and well underway. Jey Uso came out to the ring to call out his brother, Jimmy, and Jimmy answered the call out by walking to the ring through the fans with Solo Sikoa. The reason why Jimmy and Solo made this unusual entrance through the crowd is to further sell the idea that they're invading Raw and not supposed to technically be there since they are Smackdown superstars. So that's why they had that special entrance. But Jimmy and Jey kept it very short, sweet, and to the point. Jey admitted that he missed Jimmy. He missed traveling with him, talking to him, competing with him, and everything else they used to do along the way as brothers. Jey told Jimmy to come back, and Jimmy's response was he never left. Jimmy argues it was Jey who abandoned the family and him. Jimmy once again said it was Jey who left, who went to Raw on his own, who became a big star, and even won the tag team titles again, but without Jimmy. And Jimmy does have somewhat of a point here. Jimmy never left Jey's side or tried to run away. Jimmy just didn't want Jey to become a newer version of Roman Reigns and become mad with power if he won the Universal title. So Jimmy took matters into his own hands and made sure that Jey didn't beat Roman. But we quickly learned that it wasn't out of a vicious intent. Jimmy basically wanted to hold his brother back from the world title because he wanted them to continue to be a tag team without the WWE title getting in the way or corrupting Jey. And you can sort of understand Jimmy's perspective, especially if he truly is being honest. Jimmy and Jey absolutely despise Roman Reigns and the monster he's become. So maybe Jimmy thought that Jey would be going down a similar path to Roman if he won the Universal title, and just didn't want to see his brother turn into what they both hate the most. So everything Jimmy did at SummerSlam is basically in a very gray area of not really being complete evil, but not being that fair or good either. Obviously, Jimmy should have been a bit more supportive of his brother, trying to take that world title off of Roman Reigns. Jimmy was very supportive in Jey's efforts to dethrone Roman back in 2020. So maybe that's what Jey was expecting to see from Jimmy in 2023 as well, but Jimmy had something else in mind. And then you go to the Smackdown after SummerSlam, and Jey Uso basically has a complete mental breakdown, and very understandably so, because it was quite the hectic situation for someone to be in. Jey was dealing with his usual issues with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, and now even Jimmy Uso was acting weird trying to be friendly towards him, after just costing him the Universal title just a few days before that Smackdown. So Jey attacks all of them, says he quits to the camera, and walks out through the arena. So both brothers have solid points. Jey said that Jimmy is the one that switched up on them and left, but Jimmy's the one saying that he's always been ready to make up with Jey, but it was Jey who ran away and left. So judging by those quick words that were exchanged there, it definitely seems like maybe not anytime soon, but maybe more down the line, that both brothers will be able to make up and get back together again later in their careers. Despite the very hostile state between them right now, the both of them pretty much admitted right there to missing each other during that Raw exchange. They didn't say it in the most loving way, of course, but if you read between the lines, it seems Jimmy and Jey are both hurt for their own different reasons and truly miss each other. So it was a short and sweet segment that was very nice and got straight to the point. And with a few shows still left to go before WrestleMania, there's a possibility that even more context will be added to the story. Cody Rhodes also took to Raw this week to deliver some heavy words in response to The Rock. Cody pointed out The Rock made fun of Cody for crying, but Cody explained that the only thing The Rock has been doing behind the scenes since coming back in recent weeks is crying to TKO officials. Cody trashed The Rock for thinking WWE needed saving. And that actually appears to be a reference from Cody Rhodes to a report that was actually going around a few weeks back, that claimed that The Rock felt like WWE needed saving and needed a bigger card for WrestleMania, so that's why The Rock inserted himself into the show. So it looks like that's what Cody was referring to there. He wanted to make it extremely clear to The Rock that this current roster has enough star power and doesn't need him to save them at all. Cody even took aim at TKO and the board of directors, saying that they were all enablers that really don't tell it as it is. Cody Rhodes continued to fire an endless amount of rounds back at The Rock before finally ending up by poking fun at his new nickname of the Final Boss. Cody said that The Rock won't be a final boss, just a side chick to Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes' promo was absolutely great, as usual, but it also highlights an issue we spoke about a few weeks back, and that's the fact that Roman Reigns, a champion for 1,300 days, continues to basically be forgotten about and pushed to the background as an afterthought of the WrestleMania main event scene. Considering how much time and spotlight it's been getting, you would think that Cody Rhodes versus The Rock was the Night 2 main event, because it just feels like where all the focus, spotlight, and time is at right now. It feels like they barely placed any spotlight on Roman versus Cody. But Paul Heyman came out and made a deal with Cody Rhodes that Roman Reigns will be all alone for their face-to-face on Smackdown, and they would love if Cody was all alone as well. They agreed and shook hands. Obviously, history tells us we can't really trust Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, so chances are that they'll have a backup plan in place with some bloodline members standing by. And Cody Rhodes should be well aware of that as well after dealing with the bloodline for so long, so maybe Cody will have a good backup plan as well. So it'll be great to see what ends up happening there. Cody also dropped another big reference to some online fan discussion during his conversation with Paul Heyman, when he said that he was willing to go full Homelander on Paul Heyman. This, of course, is a reference to the main antagonist of The Boys TV series. That reference really made some fans pop because there's been a lot of discussion and theories floating around recently that if Cody Rhodes does turn heel in WWE, that his character should morph into something similar to the Homelander character. We won't get into spoiler territory for the Homelander character in that entire series, but to sum it up, the fans basically want to see Cody go through this era where he truly believes he's the people's hero and believes he's doing the right thing, but in actuality, he's a big evil force. So that's what fans have been discussing amongst themselves for what they want to see from a heel Cody Rhodes in modern day WWE. And the fact that Cody name-dropped Homelander has everyone thinking that Cody must have laid his eyes on those fan tweets and discussion over the last few days. So the big question that's left to ask and wonder about here is if truly Cody Rhodes was acknowledging the fans' idea for him to turn into something like Homelander, or just a coincidence. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.